Welcome to BumbleKast Live. I am your live host, Ian Flynn, the Bumble King, and joining me as always is my live, totally not an AI construct co-host, Kyle JCRB Krause.
I am alive, I swear. I swear I'm alive. For real.
Nothing is generative. It is 100% AAA grade USD homegrown Kyle.
Yep, we're going with that. Sure. We'll go with that.
And we will have so much to go through. Let's get through the preliminary stuff as fast as we can. Big thank you to Jennifer R. and Professor Rye for managing all the questions you are undoubtedly bombarding them with right now. Big thank you to JR Unbound, who's going to be doing all the timestamps later, because good Lord, that's a lot of timestamps. If you are new to the show, this is how it works. Ask your question in the chat at BKQA. That's the handle, right?
Yes.
Okay. And we will try to get to at least one from everybody if time allows. Please only ask one question at a time. Otherwise, it will be impossible to get through them all. If you want a better chance of getting answered tonight, submit a super chat of any amount, and we will try to get to you. If not, your question will be rolled over to the nearest available regular BumbleKast episode. And we will also prioritize there too, so that everyone who asks a super chat will at least get one answer live if we can. It all depends on how long it takes for me to talk about stuff, how many questions we get, how many donations we get, the phase of the moon, the alignment of the stars, have I had breakfast? All of this is going to come into effect. So, with all that out of the way, Kyle, did I forget anything?
No. I don't think
Good.
so.
Then let's answer this question.
Hold on. I do want to make a quick mention real quick of Kazzy, who's doing our promotion on the socials. So thank you to her. She's also helping out a bit here at the beginning, at least. So yes, there we go.
I did forget something. Thank you, Kazzy.
Yes. All right. So let's go ahead and get started because we have a lot already. And Vixers, you are the first one. Congratulations. So this question is from Vixers. Shadow died in SA2 and came back in Heroes. Jesus died on the cross and came back 3 days later. Cast for Bible storybook game? Remember, if VeggieTales can do it, and Sonic can too. Well, I mean, it would be... I mean, there's an audience for it.
This is what you wanted, isn't it, Maria? My body to be this bread?
Oh, no.
No. I do not think we will ever go there, because that means, according to all the parallels, Yahweh is Black Doom. And no, absolutely not. I mean, I can absolutely hear him say, "You shall have no other gods before me." But that's going to piss off a lot of people, having the clearly demonic coded alien being the ultimate of all fathers. So no, absolutely not. Please don't. No.
Yahweh? No way. Oh, man. That's the funniest answer you could have ever imagined. Sonakai has a question. What are both your thoughts on the Paper Mario series? You excited for the upcoming Thousand Year Door remake?
If I have time for it, yes, because I loved Thousand Year Door.
Mm-hmm.
Original, I thought was a great gimmick, but it kind of plotted. I didn't find it particularly memorable, but it was a neat idea. Thousand Year Door, I feel like, nailed it in the concept, in the execution, in the humor, in the story. Love Thousand Year Door and how pretty the remake looks. I've been hearing mixed things about the music, but we'll see when we get to it. What was the third one? Can't remember the name of it.
Was that Paper Jam or Sticker Star?
No, Super Paper Mario. That's what it was.
Super. Oh, that's right. Yeah.
And the gimmick of flipping between the 2 dimensions and the 3 dimensions was really neat. But I feel like they ran out of ideas to use it early on. Or I was just too stupid to figure out those puzzles later. And it had some high points, but it felt a little samey throughout. It didn't have quite the zip and zing that the first two had. And then I didn't go to the others because it seemed just watered down. And here's the gimmick du jour with Paper Mario. Maybe it's fun to play, sure, but I liked the greater narrative and all the quirky companions. And lacking that, it's like, well, then where's the pepper in the sauce, you know?
Sure. Yeah. I appreciate Paper Mario, but my experience with him is kind of limited. Played a little bit of Super, and that's about it. I'm a bad Mario fan, I know.
Love the X-Nauts, though. Wish they'd come back.
Yeah. Here's one from DDR Master M. It's the return of Sonic Bravo. How poorly his advances went with Amy, he's moved on to new targets. How does his flirt attempts with Rouge, Blaze, Jewel, Tangle, Whisper, Lanolin go? Dude, that's too many names. You should have narrowed it down.
Yeah, for a live show, let's pick the top 3 here real quick.
Yeah. You go for it.
I didn't get the whole list.
Oh,
you picked
Rouge?
3 names.
Okay, Rouge. All right.
Sonic Bravo has 0 chance. He is not even remotely in her league. And he realized that real fast. He'd roll up on her, hey there, pretty mama. I got nothing. And she's like, no, you don't. But you can leave anytime. You'll remember me. I'll be back. Oh, I'll remember you all right. And I'm sure you will be back. On your hands and knees. Hey, if that's what you want, pretty mama.
How about Jewel?
Hey there, little mama. You're all sparkly, well put together. Hoo-ha! How about you and me go tour a museum? That's what I do. That's my job. Well, you know what they say. If you do what you love, you never work a day in your life. That's surprisingly coherent coming from you. Thank you. Thank you very much.
And let's go Lanolin.
Hey, they're pretty. No. I didn't even. I know. But I just leave. Well, all right then. Be that way.
Yep. Kind of figured.
And then later, someone's like, who was that? And it's like, who? The guy you just blew off. There was a guy? I'm sorry. I think I just reflexively deflected something.
All right. Here's a question from KB. It's the third part of the Tangled and Whisper miniseries, but instead of Tangle comforting a sad Whisper, it's Foghorn Leghorn giving Whisper words of wisdom. How does this play out?
I tweet one thing.
I know,
and that becomes my identity. Well, you know what?
It's the thing. It's the in thing right now.
And now I'm like on the spot because it's like I don't do a particularly good Foghorn Leghorn. He's got a very distinct, deep in the chest voice, and I don't have that. I'm too reedy to do a solid Foghorn. But let's see, Foghorn supporting Whisper. Now listen, I say, listen here, little missy. You can hide behind your mask all you want, but them feelings, they're deep down inside. What you got to do is you got to let them out. Approach them feelings like one of your little whisper friends over there. Wispies. Whatever. Your Technicolor jelly beans. Load them into that emotional weapon of yours and let them out, girl. You got trauma. You say you got trauma inside you. You can't bottle it up. It's like shaking a soda can, putting it in a Mentos. It's going to spray all over. You're going to feel sticky and defiled afterwards. It's an analogy. I'm making an analogy here, son. Daughter. Don't mean to misgender you
here. This is Boom Black Doom almost.
Almost.
Close.
Almost.
Yeah, good stuff. Michael B. Oh, actually, I should mention also that actually standard questions closed a little while ago, guys. We are well over 50 already. So thank you so much for sending in your questions, for your support. Of course, we are still taking super chats, so we will get through as many of those as we can here shortly. But yeah, thank you guys, as always. So we're going to keep on rolling. This one's from Michael B. Sonic Boom finally introduces Mina Mongoose into the show. Unfortunately, she's the Mobian equivalent of Yoko Ono. How does Eggman / Team Sonic react, and why is Styx performing a duet?
Yoko gets a bad rap. So we're going to just assume this is a hyperbolic, not representative universe.
Yeah.
Now, we won't even say it's like Yoko specifically. Just if you know the joke, you know the joke.
It's
Give the
Boom.
poor lady some rest. But to follow the trope, she would have to join in on the group and like muscle everybody else out. And who would be the one? Well, it would be Boom Knuckles. I was going to say, who's going to be the one who completely falls head over heels and completely loses himself in reinventing adventuring? That's going to be Boom Knuckles. Let's be honest. And then you have, a very avant-garde new approach to adventuring with Knuckles and Mina. And Eggman doesn't quite get it because aren't they just supposed to fight the robots? No, they're doing interpretive dance to dissuade them from their animosity. Okay. This is weird enough. I'm just going to go back home. And that just, solidifies the idea that it works.
Well, there you go. All right, let's switch over to some super chats. This one's from Hero Squad. To start us off, the Sonic Boom episode that includes Pepsi Man. How does it go? Can we expect the Battle of Man? Would there be an Eggman version of Pepsi Man's theme? Is there a giant Pepsi can out of nowhere?
I mean, you've pretty much answered the question. How do I riff when you've already riffed?
You've already done it. Pepsi Man. He's like Sonic Man, but Pepsi.
I would imagine it would be a standard Boom episode. It's just Pepsi Man kind of jumps in every now and then to be Pepsi Man. And it's this completely derailing non sequitur.
Yes.
They're in the middle of having a conversation or a sketch or a gag, and then just Pepsi Man, and they all just kind of look at him. And then they go right back to what they were talking about.
What were you doing? What are you doing here? Pepsi's not even endorsing this. Get out of here. All right, here's a question from OzJam. The Chaotix' door explodes open to reveal two silhouettes. Wait, who are they? Why, it's Heavy the Robot and... Wait, Demo Man? And on a closer look, it's actually Heavy Weapons Guy? What chaos ensues?
Okay, so it's...
So, Heavy the Robot...
Screaming at me. Heavy the Robot.
Yeah.
And the Demo Man.
Except when you look closer at him, he's actually Heavy Weapons Guy. So what does that mean?
It's heavy, but... So the heavy is not heavy. It is actually heavy, but it's Demo Man.
Why does it look like Demo? Why is he Demo Man? Why does he look like Demo Man at first, and then he looks like Heavy Weapons Guy later?
I'm almost inclined to think this is a syntax error, and he meant to say Heavy is actually Heavy Weapons Guy. That makes more sense as the joke. Heavy and Bomb, Heavy Weapons,
Heavy and Demo Man. That might be what they meant. Yeah,
I think that's what they meant.
So it's actually Heavy Weapons Guy and Demo Man.
That's the assumption I'm going with.
Okay. We'll go with that. That seems something makes more sense.
They've come to hire the Chaotix because the spy has gone missing. And not in the usual sense, he hasn't reappeared. So who else better to find the spy than a trio of detectives? And so the five of them go off and they go looking for stuff, and madcap adventures ensue. Things get blown up, things get shot. It's not the Chaotix, thank heavens. They accidentally steal the intelligence from the enemy base and get it back. That was not part of the job, but they got it anyway. And it all comes down to the fact that the spy did just turn invisible. He just didn't want to deal with them today. So he left.
Well, there you go. Can't blame him. Although it is funny to imagine Heavy, Demo Man, and the Chaotix all together. That sounds like chaos. And it sounds glorious.
I mean, if anything, I just want an excuse for Victor to pick up Sasha. Who touched my gun? Oh, he's Vector. He's okay. Heaven knows you know how to treat a woman.
Oh no. Good job. Scurvy Pyro Dog has a question. At the end of Sonic Prime, the Chaos Council was drifting in the void. Well, they've now landed in the world of Sonic Boom. How does it go? Does Boom Eggman think they're his extended family?
Absolutely. I mean, he's no stranger to interdimensional family, and
Yep.
at first he welcomes them because hey, more family, more evil geniuses to come together and share, evil mind games like Scrabble.
Yep.
He tried playing with Orbot and Cubot, that really didn't get anywhere. He tried building Scrabblebot, but it kept beating him, so he demolished it. Now he can actually play with, his family, except they're all terrible people. And they are not really a supportive family. And so game night just turns into passive aggressive animosity night.
It sounds like Eggman for you.
It's like 2 a.m. He goes knocking on Sonic's door. Can I crash on your couch? Is this some kind of like plot to invade or something? No. The family in town, they're all just awful.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they are. Oscar the Bearcat has a question. It's Kirby's birthday today. Happy birthday, Kirby. The Neo Diamond Cutters end up on Popstar and meet him and his friends. How do the three girls react to the odd inhabitants of Popstar and the various beings that threaten it?
Tangle buys into it wholesale.
I was going to say, Tangle is super into it.
She understands the Kirby speak immediately. She's fluent in Puyo.
Of course.
Whisper is on guard about everything, but that's Whisper. I mean, she's not really thrown for a loop. The Wisps would look like they'd fit right into a Kirby world.
Yep.
Lanolin doesn't like being outside of familiar territory, but, this is just a new world with new stuff in it. She will learn it. She will adapt to it. She will mitigate it. And then, problems arise. They all fight them together competently. And then the nightmare fuel kicks in. And they're like, what's going on? And Kirby takes care of it because Playle.
Uh-huh. As long as they don't realize what the butterflies signify, I think they'll be okay. How do they
No, Tangle is playing with that butterfly from scene 1.
Oh, no.
Dude, and then it possesses her, and we get, like, Morpho Knight Tangle.
Oh, no.
That
but
would
also
look awesome.
Oh, yes. Oh, no, but also, oh, yes. It's amazing. Holy crap. Big stretchy sword. Amazing. Frozen Apple Juice has a question. Many characters who can talk have never had an official voice. What kind of voices do you imagine for characters such as the Hooligans, the Mechanics, Mighty, and Ray?
I always imagine some kind of like Brooklyn tough guy type thing for Fang. It's Fang. Got to break the habit of that.
Knack Fang. Fang Knack.
Bean, something kind of shrill and obnoxious, but has the range to actually be endearing.
Yeah.
Bark doesn't apply.
Kevin Smith.
There you go.
Yeah.
Let's see. The Mechanics. I kind of like the pass where Heavy is almost a C3PO-esque deadpan, uses big words for no particular reason.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, he's a geometric shape, but he talks like a philosopher. Whereas Bomb just makes like countdown noises.
Ping noises, yeah.
Yeah. Who was the other one?
Mighty and Ray.
Mighty, I imagine something a little slightly deeper and gruffer than Sonic, but more chill than Knuckles.
Yeah.
Like something that just sounds like very calm and big brotherly. The kind of voice that lets you know, okay, you're in good hands because this is a good guy.
Yep.
And then Ray would be just somebody upbeat and positive. That kind of energetic voice where even when they're low key, they sound like they're just having the best day.
Works for me. Works for me. DDR Master M has a question. Sonic Bravo returns for a third round, and this time he flirts with Tangle, Whisper, and Surge. How does it go?
Tangle, they actually go out on a date and have fun.
Yeah, of
like,
course.
Like, despite themselves in their own ways, they just manage to have a good time. Like, it just becomes a platonic great day out.
Yep.
What were the other two?
Whisper and Surge.
Whisper. Oh, hey there, pretty mama. I'll put the weapon down. I'm backing away slowly. Backing away very quickly now.
Yep.
And then from like 30 feet away, call me.
I don't have your number.
And then Surge. Hey there, Shabaki mama. You want to go out sometime? And she just kind of gives him the up and down, and then the smile dawns on her face. And you know,
oh no,
that he's in trouble. You know this is going to end with a chalk outline somewhere.
Hilarious. Oh boy.
And eventually, and this could go a couple of ways. You know, one is that she eventually like leads him off a cliff, or she decides he's just too stupid to dirty her own hands, but she still wants to get a laugh out of this. So she goes, "Hey, Kit, this guy was mean to me on a date. You gonna let that stand?"
Oh boy. Oh no.
What's that strange ominous music? Why am I seeing numbers count down over my head? 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Oh no. That's good. That's good. Tristan has a question. Hey Ian, how much do you know about Splatoon? I ask because the 10th anniversary is next year, and I wanted to send in a Splatoon themed BumbleKast mini. P.S. Favorite idol group in Splatoon?
Okay, reasonably up to date on them. I haven't played the DLC for 3 yet, and my lore is rusty, so I'd probably have to do a little bit of research. But I know generally how it goes.
I think we could handle a Splatoon mini.
I think so, yeah. As a matter of fact, there was I had in my head just how I would do like a little mini comic series for Splatoon, and that's never going to happen. So I actually did a write up on it just to get out of my system, and it's over on my personal Patreon if you want to ever give that a look see.
Do it.
As for favorite idol group,
be careful, Ian. This is going to you got 3 potential factions to piss off here. So
there's no
wisely.
one right answer.
No,
because they're all very different acts, but I think I gotta go with Off the Hook. Squid Sisters, like,
it is
very close second, on par. If Off the Hook didn't exist, it'd be Squid Sisters without any hesitation.
I can't choose between Off the Hook and the Squid Sisters. I do. They're both
both
good.
do a lot of great tracks, but Off the Hook's Nasty Majesty is baller, dude.
That's nasty in the good way.
Oh my god, dude, that is a track and a half. Nothing quite compares to that.
Yeah. That's really what it is. It's just the music on the series. It's just absolutely outstanding. That's really what it boils down to. So,
yeah. Fantastic tracks all around. Calamari Incantation in the first game when you're going through the boss fight is an amazing experience, but at the same time in Splatoon 2 when you're making your way up the end of the tower and Nasty Majesty kicks in, you feel like a champion. I'm getting chills just thinking about it. Oh, that was a moment. One of those moments where I wish I could just like delete it and relive it, you know?
And deep cut. Dude, we can't leave out deep cut.
No, they're fine. Just they didn't resonate with me as much as the other two.
No, but Big Man is great. Come on.
Well, yeah.
All right, let's go switch back to some standard questions for a while. Get to this one from Metal Skulk Bane. What would Sonic, Shadow, Silver, Tails, or Amy do if they saw starving people in front of a shop? Heroes have no money or food, and shop owner refuses to share for free.
Well,
rude.
Their methods will be slightly different, but it's all going to end with robbery and the distribution of goods.
What are they, Aladdin?
Yes.
Okay.
I mean, Amy and Tails, they'll try to negotiate, they'll fundraise, maybe they'll do everything they can within the letter of the law, but if that manager's going to be that big of a jerk, they're just going to go in.
Yeah.
Sonic, Silver, and Shadow are varying degrees of Sonic and Silver are varying degrees of we tried to be nice, but we're not even going to push it beyond a point. Shadow's just going to shove the guy out of the way.
Shadow's just going to walk in, take what he wants, and leave.
He looks at that person. What do you want? I don't know. A sandwich? Fine. Wait here. You can't just take food off the. Here's a sandwich. Enjoy. Thank you.
See, Shadow's a nice guy. Sometimes.
No, he's not. He's just mean to the mean people.
Well, I mean, at least he's not mean to nice people.
Generally speaking.
Oh, boy. Super Sharkbait has a question. Starline's Isekai adventures continue! This time, he finds himself in the world of Inside Out, but not in Riley's mind, instead, his. What is this mysterious world like, and what happened?
Is this Inside Out, or is this being John Malkovich?
Let's go with that.
No. We'll stay with Inside Out, because that's at least brightly colorful.
Okay.
Malkovich is another level of weird.
True.
But God, the meta-contextual essence of that is kind of making my head spin. I think you'd have to sit down for a moment. So I'm within my own super ego, managing myself. Well, then what is the me that I'm managing?
He's got a super ego, all right.
All the other emotions are like, we're actually on top of the world. We managed to oust Eggman. We're going to get a mecha right now. No! Abort! Reverse course! Getting a slap fight with all of his different aspects.
Oh, man.
That's why Starline lost the fight to Eggman and gets smushed by the rock. You think he's staring off in the middle distance because his soul's been crushed, but really he's just inside having a 5-way tag team wrestling match, trying to get his emotions in check.
Yeah. He is overwhelmed with his emotions.
Struggling to crawl out from under the pile, just pull that one lever to make him move an inch to the right.
Yep.
Inch to the right, please, you fools. We're all going to get isekai together.
Yep. Oh, man.
He wakes up in the next world. He's all alone again. Well, good. They deserved that.
Yep.
Starts shaking his head vigorously. Do you like that? I hope you have seatbelts in there. Oh, wait. No, I don't.
What? Oh, jeez. All right, let's move on to the next question from Raphael. In Generations, classic Sonic was kidnapped in Green Hill, but he was already familiar to Tails. So maybe he was kidnapped from Game Gear Sonic 1?
I prefer to think he was just running through Green Hill for old time's sake.
He was just chilling, you know?
Yeah.
He was just there. That's what he do. He can go fast, so he can just end up somewhere. All right, Madam Mobius has a question. So that Tails tube, is that still Shadow's direction? Or more of a comedic exaggeration a la the Twitter takeover? I loved him in Murder of and was hoping that would rub off on him in the future.
That is very much his current direction.
Oh boy.
That is after lots of notes and revisions.
Mm-hmm. All right, Cherry Sapphire Cherry has a question. If you can say how much time is typically between comic pitch and release, by extension of that, did you know the Hooligans would get their own comic when writing them in Amy's?
No, I did not. And it really varies from project to project. Sometimes I'll pitch something and it takes a few months to get through all the varying degrees of approvals and overviews. Sometimes it takes a couple weeks. It really depends on what the deadline is and how backlogged various departments are. Uh, right now, I'm honestly waiting for the green light to get started on a few comic projects, and it's like, any day now, just tell me what you want me to do. I do it.
All right. Well, we've got a lot of super chats, so let's burn through some of them real quick. Here's this one from Lord Van Oscaro. To pump up support and morale, the Restoration performs the musical Beetlejuice with Cream as Lydia and Knights as the title character. How chaotic do things get when Knights decides to help out the effects team with their dream powers? Oh boy.
Now, I've not seen Beetlejuice the musical, and it has been quite a while since I've seen the movie.
Yeah.
So I'm going into this a little bit blind, but Knights as Beetlejuice is the best possible casting choice
That is inspired, yeah.
because they can transform into just about anything. You don't need any special effects. They are the special effect.
I think that's what they're getting at, yeah.
So, and Knights is a supportive, good individual, so they're going to put on a fantastic show.
Yes.
Maybe they'll go off script to riff a little bit, and Cream's going, "Excuse me, Knight, that's not the cue for my line." And Knight's just like, sorry, baby, let me go back and do that again.
That's a terrible voice for Knights, but it works, whatever. I mean,
he's got to be in character.
He's got the Beetlejuice voice, yeah, I guess so. Wow. We need more.
Yeah, you want to go get nuts? Let's get nuts. You're mixing your Keatons again, sir, ma'am. You.
Good old Knights. All right. We got a question here from Anonymous. How would the events of Sonic 06 play out if Tangle was Elise, including the smooch?
I would imagine very differently, since Tangle's not going to just get grabbed by an egg mech.
No.
She'd be fighting back. Like, speed-wise, she'd still need to be whisked off by Sonic, but the two of them are going to be much more equal partners in the exploration of Soliana and the combating of Eggman's forces. It would be an interesting take on her always chipper and upbeat attitude, though, if it was contextualized as a mask of her own, that she refuses to cry because she can't. Dear Papa Soliana said don't do it, so she doesn't. Ever. She's always positive. She's always upbeat. No problems here. I twitch. And the message would, resonate a little more clearly, I guess, that Sonic says, sometimes it's okay. You can let go. I mean, this case he's wrong because the fire demon would pop out, but in general, it's healthy to embrace all your emotions.
Well, there you go.
And as for the kiss, it would be slightly less problematic given that they're both animal people.
Sounds good. Makes sense to me. Supersonic fan has a question. What if Eggman made a Bizarro clone of Sonic?
Kind of got that with Pseudosonic.
Little
Maybe.
bit
No.
ish.
Not. I guess not really. I mean, he was just like pre-metal Sonic. It wasn't really a Bizarro Sonic. So, what would a Bizarro Sonic be? Because, I mean, Bizarro himself has had a few interpretations over the years, but I personally like the one where he's not malevolent. He's just, he's got faulty wiring. Like, he wants to be a hero. He sees himself as Superman, as a heroic individual, but everything he does is without restraint or forethought. So it's not malevolence that causes the disaster, it's thoughtlessness, almost childlike in a way, without any understanding of, cause and effect. So in that case, you'd have Bizarro Sonic, who has all the speed and power of Sonic and the desire to do good, but not really able to put two and two together. So anything mechanical is bad robot. Cars, planes, boats at sea, they're getting chased down and smashed. And Bizarro Sonic sees the fish that are scurrying away in terror from this destruction and thinking that, hey, he freed the fish from inside that evil boat.
Well, they
sees a raccoon nesting in a tree and demolishes the tree. Evil tree no longer hold raccoon. Sonic and biggest hero. And we'll call him Kinos. Why not?
Kinos. Oh boy. Well, there you go.
Him have green arms and blue eyes.
Oh no, not green arms. Oh man. Happy Times has a question. Tail swap. Tumble gets Tangle's tail, while Tangle gets Tumble's lack of a tail. How do they handle this?
Tangle is perfectly fine. What are you talking about? She doesn't need a tail for balance. Oops. Not she meant to trip. That was just a pratfall for comedy's sake. She's absolutely she's dizzy.
Plump.
Okay. She'll be fine. She can get used to this. I mean, it's one less appendage to have to worry about. No more brushing. She'll be fine. Why can't she walk in a straight line? Jewel, help.
Oh.
Meanwhile, Tumble is having the time of his life. Floof, glorious floof. Tail goes on for miles now. Here, jump roof to roof. Like he's doing cartwheels. He's doing, ribbon-esque gymnastic dance displays, but it's the tail. He hasn't moved from a 5-foot radius. He's just reveling in it.
Yes. Glorious. Wraps it around himself like a scarf, then accidentally chokes himself.
And then when they come to claim it back, he remembers, oh wait, it can punch too.
Yep.
And he becomes one of the most formidable multi-limbed fighters you've ever seen. Until he turns on Tangle. And then suddenly the tail starts beating him up.
Well, there you go. Uh-oh, she still has a connection to it somehow. All right, here's one from Geo Knuckles. Can you sing the Peaches song from the Mario movie with Vector's voice? Imagine if he sang it.
God. Can I remember this off the top of my head? It's not a complex song.
Peaches, 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 peaches.
Hold on.
Okay. Let's do it real quick. Let's do part of it.
Lyrics. No, not that Peaches song.
Moving to the country, gonna eat a lot of peaches. Not that one.
Although that would be fun too.
Yeah.
All right. Where's Vector? Find his voice again. There we go.
There he is.
Peach. Yeah, so cool. And with Master, we're gonna rule. Peach. I understand. I'm gonna love you to the very end. Peaches, 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 peaches. I love you so. Oh, peaches, peaches. SBO, don't give me that look. I'm doing great. Peaches, 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 peaches. Charmy, get your fingers out of your ears. Peaches, 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 peaches. I love you so. Oh, phone's ringing. Hello? Noise complaint. All right, fine. I'll hang it up. Wait a minute. We don't have no namers. SBO, is that you?
Damn it, SPO. Switchel has a question. When are you going to admit you're Eggman Nega? You want to merge Blaze and Sonic's world. You have the boisterous laugh, Ian. I am Nega. Come on, quote unquote, Ian. Just admit it.
Well, you finally figured me out, hmm? I thought I threw you off with this amazing impersonation of a fat hairy man for so many years. But you got me, and now, oh no, my teleporter's malfunctioning and I'm melting and dead forever. Blah.
Good.
Oh my goodness, here I am, Ian Flynn, isekai from another dimension. Oh, we're doing a BumbleKast? I know how that works. Let's move on.
Wow. Here's one from Disco Draws. Shadow and Lancelot switch places. How long does it take for everyone to realize it, and how does Lancelot handle being in the future? How does Sonic handle being followed around by his loyal knight again?
Nobody picks up on it.
Even
At
with
all.
the armor?
Even with the armor.
Good.
Like Sonic's giving kind of the up and downs like, you wearing something different?
You look familiar.
I'm not seeing the normal scowl. Oh, it's the visor. Yeah, all right. Nice drip, man. So why are you following me around?
Weird. Sonic got
Meanwhile,
hit.
Shadow's incredibly impatient about why everyone is acting so weird. And why are all these tapestries in the castle depicting a king, Sonic? No, sir. Doesn't like it.
No. Do not want. All right, here's one from Moreless. Missing Lemur and Wolf. I miss them, Ian. That's not a question, but...
I mean, keep reading the book. They'll be back eventually.
They'll be back. All right, Allison S. has a question. If Breezy and Honey had social media accounts, how would their content and approach differ? How bad is Breezy's clickbait?
Breezy doesn't actually manage hers. She has a badnik to do that for her.
I was gonna say she was not gonna do her own. What are you, crazy?
She knows well enough not to engage in social media. That's madness waiting to happen. No, everything is this perfectly calculated and cultivated engagement that is very clickbaity, to be sure, and just leads you to some form of giving her money and or allegiance in some fashion. Honey, on the other hand, manages everything. She has an account on every possible platform, which is all maintained real time, completely in sync. She somehow doesn't manage to lose her mind over the trolls, and she perfectly cultivates all of her engagements. She just has like boundless energy, and she's just happy to engage with people. She is the antithesis to everything Breezy's social media platform is.
Yep. I like it. Here's one from Joe M. You're an Archie Sonic writer in the late 90s. If you were told you had to explain the modern redesigns in universe, how would you have done it? Don't, and just say it's an art style shift.
Yeah, for the most part. Like, Amy's the biggest hurdle because she was so childish before and then was very much not a child in Adventure. I don't know if I would do the Ring of Acorns thing. Maybe do a time stone thing. You know, Little Planet comes back, she falls into a time portal, pops out her older self through the course of the story. But everybody else, I feel like it was such a cosmetic change that it didn't necessitate that much attention.
No.
Like Tails and Knuckles didn't get a story for it. It was only Sonic, and that one, that was a thing. That was a choice.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it was.
And Eggman's was built into his resurrection. So, I mean, that question goes all the way back to, how would you do Endgame differently? And that's too big of a question.
For the live show, at least, yeah.
And I feel like we've touched on that before.
We have. All right, here's one from Niche XCC 1900. What is it with Sega always portraying Tails like a total egotistical smartass? He doesn't feel as innocent and kind as before.
I wouldn't say egotistical smartass. It's just he's grown up some. He's had a number of wins under his belt. He's, equal to Sonic now. You can get a little bit of a swagger with that. I mean, who else gets to say that? I get to go adventuring with Sonic the Hedgehog. I've helped stop the Dr. Eggman. There's a little bit of pride to be had there, but he's also young, so he's got to learn how to manage that as well. He's still learning how to accept the victories along with the defeats, the successes along with the setbacks. So when he has a win, he has a win, and maybe he's a little too proud of it sometimes, but that's okay. There's room to grow and keeps him from being just boring.
Let Tails be confident. He's allowed.
Plus, his formative years were spent with Sonic. He's gonna be a little sassy. That just comes with the territory.
Yeah, you spend too much time around Sonic, some weird stuff happens, I'll tell you what. Jedi Pony has a question. What would a Mephiles Phantom Ruby replica do?
A anything that Mephiles do? I mean, the Phantom Ruby's kind of broken in that it just seems to be able to nigh upon replicate anything that you can imagine. So as long as the user is familiar with Nephilis and his power set, they could do. I don't know if they could do full time travel. God, that'd be broken. But
well, Phantom Ruby is kind of
simulated time travel. You feel like you've time traveled within the sphere of influence, but then you step outside and it doesn't affect you anymore. Man, that'd be trippy.
Maybe. All right, here's one from Bug. How would the classic cast tackle the end? And no, you can't say Bean launches it back into space like a golf ball. Can't say that because that's a fan idea now. Dang.
Even that's a little Looney Tunes even for Bean. I mean, the whole essence of it is Supersonic has the power and the will to overcome anything. So I don't really see it being that different. Just kind of faux two-dimensional.
Mm-hmm.
Unless it's designed kind of like that Black Dragon fight out of Superstars.
Yeah.
Not quite sure how that would work.
All right, we got a question from Onyxodon. Mr. Flynn, what made you decide to have Starline crushed by rubble instead of another kind of death? Or was that someone else's decision?
No, that was my call. And I feel like we touched on this recently. Or was that a BumbleKast mini that has come out yet?
Probably. I don't know.
Okay. Basically, I feel like I've answered this already because it's the 3 points. But we've recorded so many of these shows, I don't know when it was answered. Anyway, one, it was thematic. It was Starline's world and ambitions literally crumbling around him and undoing him. And two, it was a way to let Eggman win and get rid of this upstart while leaving his hands clean. Technically, Eggman didn't outright kill anybody. It was the rubble that did it. And, you don't actually see anything grotesque happening. Therefore, it still remains all ages friendly.
Well, there you go. Makes sense. Here's a question from Ellie. Which Boom game is canon, Rise of Lyric or Shattered Crystal? They're alternate versions of the same story of meeting Lyric for the first time.
Yeah, I asked that too when we were doing the tie-in comic that was on the card and never got an answer.
The answer is that one. Yes. Or no. Or maybe. Whichever one has more of sticks in it, which I think is Shattered Crystal.
Yeah.
Because Rise of Lyric has almost no sticks at all.
And it's weird she has caveman talk in that one.
Yeah, it's not
Bizarre.
everything is wrong with her portrayal in that game. Godzilla has a question. It took Godzilla 70 years to win an Oscar. How long do you think it will take Sonic to win an Oscar or Game of the Year?
Never Game of the Year. People can't appreciate his genius.
Probably, yeah.
I don't know. Maybe it's me just becoming a cantankerous old man, but I have less and less value for these prestige awards.
Mm-hmm.
These shows are so insular and self-gratifying. It's like it's just a popularity contest within their respective industries. You know, the Godzilla Oscar is throwing a bone to the masses so that you maybe pay attention to the Oscars this year. You were asking a silly question. I gave you a better response. I'm sorry. What I'm getting at is Sonic doesn't need accolades. He's proven that he withstands the test of time, and as long as you're entertained by Dingy, that's all he needs.
Yep. I'm going to say that there is some value, at least, for some of these awards. I wouldn't say the major awards, the ones that are clearly just popularity contests, but definitely some of the lesser, the ones that usually don't get televised. Those awards usually have a little bit more merit to them. So that's at least my thoughts on it. Here's one from Cameron D. Starline's Isekai continues. He wakes up in an impossibly clean, rancid-smelling hotel with no doors or windows, and upon entering his room finds something horrifying, a 10-foot-tall surge plush with black eyes. How does it go? Well, how is it impossibly clean and rancid at the same time?
Maybe the smell's emanating from within the walls.
Oh, okay.
But he's going to kind of look around and take in the surroundings and go, I feel like I'm missing a reference here. Because I know I am.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't quite understand.
And then the giant surge plush kind of leans forward and eats him. And then the isekai adventures continue.
Yeah, yeah.
He wakes up on the next world going, well, at least that one was brief.
Impossibly clean. Well, guess that's how it's impossible. Because it also smells bad. All right, here's one from Zach D. I would like to ask, what are some of your favorite bands or musicians that you like to listen to?
Oh, goodness. See, this is actually a problem for me because I am terrible with keeping up with music and artists and whatnot. And I recently got a Spotify account because YouTube is impossible to listen to music to anymore. And I'm like, okay, who do I like to listen to? Who can I look up? And it's just a dial tone. I know various artists. I know songs that I like. And it's like, and who are they, Ian? Let's see. I would really liked a lot of Rockapella stuff. Kind of the early aughts or so. There's a few tracks by the Nylons, which is another a cappella group. Just the way that they blend sound is amazing. I did remember to look up a couple of albums by Sugar Ray. That's just some feel-good music from back in the day.
Yeah.
Was big into Green Day, back in the 90s, but again, who wasn't? A bit of Offspring, a little bit of Metallica, pre-Saint Anger, but I think that falls for most everybody. I don't know. I cast a really wide net, to be perfectly honest. Like, I like dance and trance and metal and rock and pop and grunge and, just about everything. Video game music, which is a huge umbrella in and of itself, orchestral stuff. Crush 40 stuff. Like, there's very little Crush 40s put out that I wouldn't listen to on loop in some form or another.
Sonic vocal tracks.
Exactly.
Works for me.
I don't know. This should be a very simple question, but I have such a hard time narrowing my focus on this one. I like music in a purely mindless consumption form.
Mm-hmm.
Dan Fogelberg, that's another one that I recently refound. I was like, oh yeah, this was my jam. And Leah's like, really? I didn't think you liked country. I'm like, it's not that country. And then something really twangy came on. It's like, okay, maybe it's a little more bluegrassy mountain country, but yeah, okay, it's country.
It's country. Come on.
Embrace
the country.
Some of the tracks are more so than others.
Yeah.
Like High Country Snows, I feel, is more of a kind of mountain ballad.
Hmm.
And then, Highway at Midnight is absolutely country.
Come on, Ian. It's okay to like country. It's fine.
There is good country stuff. I usually fall back on the whole, I'm not big into rap or into country, but that's disingenuous. There is good music in both genres. It's just there's more modern stuff, I guess, that I'm not big into.
That's a lie, and you know it. Yes. Well, they didn't ask me, so I'm not going to answer this one. Just go listen to my other show, Nitro Game Injection, kngi.org. There you go. You'll figure it out. All right, let's switch over to some standard questions again for a bit. Here's one from JR Unbound. If Sonic and friends were stuck on a deserted island and couldn't escape because of reasons, who would be eaten first and by whom?
How many friends are there total?
However many you want, I guess.
I think the question is who would try to eat someone else first.
Yeah.
Because all of them are fairly resourceful and none of them would really want to necessarily turn on each other first. And Sonic's going to outrun most of them. So, I don't know. Would Amy make the sacrifice play for everybody's benefit?
Oh, no.
Would Shadow abstain because he doesn't need to eat? But then he eats Sonic out of spite anyway.
Well,
not so fast, were you?
If you're just tuning in now.
Just imagine Shadow's left with some macabre barbecue pit. This is what you wanted, wasn't it, Maria? Everybody to go down with some barbecue sauce? I guess I could have just skated off the island. Oh well.
Yeah, and Sonic
that's when Big emerges from the brush. Good, you're all fattened up now.
Sonic could have just ran off the island.
Yeah, well, he said reasons.
Yeah, I know, reasons. Oh boy. Oh boy. Shonen Boys has a question. Sonic's team, him, Tails, Amy, and Nux, and Mega Man's team, him, Proto Man, Roll, and Bass, have a battle of the bands. What beloved songs do they play from their own series, and who wins?
Okay, so Sonic's group is playing all Crush 40 music, and Mega Man's band is playing all Mega's music, and they both rock. So we win. That's who wins. That's the greatest concert ever.
Mega Man is playing some of the Megas. Sure, it's not official, but whatever. Some of the Mega Man X vocal tracks. I'm into it. Let's go. All right, here's one from Normal Person. Let's get nuts by having Whisper team up with Billy Batson, aka Shazam. How would their partnership go, and how would Whisper disguise herself when not in battle?
Does she need to disguise
Would
herself?
she bother? I was gonna say, no, I don't think she would.
She doesn't really have a lot of pretense with that. I mean, maybe Billy transforms and he kind of looks down at her and is like, "We're doing superhero stuff. You got to do your superhero persona thing." And she just kind of slides her mask into place.
Well,
That'll work. All right, here we go.
There you go. Yeah.
And together they'd be fairly potent. I don't know how much she could bring to the table that Shazam can't already do by himself. But this is the excuse for Shazam to use Wisp powers.
There you go. Nice.
And that would just rock. And then through whatever machinations of the story, they are imperiled. And Whisper is the only one left standing, so she has to be the one to actually raise her voice for once and go, Shazam! And now you have a Shazam Whisper.
Fan artists, you know what to do.
And she's already got the cape. It just needs new details. What that's on,
Wink, wink. Pedanta Cat has a question. How would you explore Eggman's and Tails dynamic along with their similarities in a story arc where the two of them need to team up? Sonic isn't involved at all.
Put them in some kind of situation where their inventive geniuses need to be put to the test, where the two of them have to workshop together to work with limited resources and overcome whatever peril they are in. And through that, we would see where they can work together, where they can't work together, and where Eggman's evil truly lies. Because he does have legitimate respect for what Tails can do, but he's not going to reinforce that in any kind of positive way. And Tails, who is plagued with self-doubt, is going to let his guard down with a certain degree of positive reinforcement. It's something that he's prone to. It's one of his faults. And that would ultimately set him up for the vile but inevitable betrayal.
Yep. Honey and Lemon has a question. During Tails' trip after Frontiers, do you think him and Sonic would have still communicated a lot, or do you think he would have went sort of radio silent while trying to work on himself?
I imagine there'd be a little bit of time to himself, because that's the whole point, is to not necessarily lean on Sonic like a crutch all the time. But
right.
They are super besties, so you can only go away from your bestie for so long.
It's true. All right, the last baby man has a question. Like real octopi and squids, are Mimic and Abyss doomed to die if they ever found a mate? Do they have to truly be forever alone if they wish to live?
Biologically, no. I don't think we're going to go that route.
Should they be forever alone? Yeah, probably.
Well, yeah, they're terrible people, but
yes.
Besides that.
Yes. Here's a question from Red Rebel. You've mentioned before that Chaos Gamma had been planned to appear in the comics a couple of times, but was ultimately cut. Can you share what you had in mind?
Nothing too concrete, because that's still in my back pocket. I know. Of all the things to mine, why Chaos Gamma? But it's because I mined most everything else. He was never a crucial character. It's not like it was the crux of any story. It was just part of some of the initial pitches, and it's like, this isn't working. So, easy thing to cut.
There you go. All right, here's one from Uncle Venus. On the table is a cup of smart juice and a cup of stupid juice. By mistake, Starline drinks the stupid juice, but nothing about him changes. How does he cope with this revelation?
Clearly the glasses were mislabeled.
Uh-huh. Obviously.
And if you care to correct me on that, I will shoot you with this. What do you call it? The shooty thing. The thing to make the bullet go. You know what I'm talking about.
Bang. The bang bang stick. The boomstick. Fun Floof the Cartoon has a question. If Honey the Cat's legalities got sorted out and IDW featured her more, could we see her canon goals, personality, and traits more akin to her original human counterpart from Fighting Vipers?
I don't know, to be perfectly honest. That would all have to be figured out by the people who figure that out.
Yep.
I would guess that they would want a clear distinction between her and Candy so that there isn't any kind of potential overlap or confusion of brands or whatever. Not that Fighting Vipers is really a active franchise, but still. That, and let Honey be her own character at that rate. But that's all personal speculation on my part. I don't know for certain.
All right, here's one from the Saxon. Sonic and the Freedom Fighters must turn to Chaos for help. Oh, no, not that Chaos. I'm talking 40K. Which Chaos God wins who and why?
God. Can you even commune with 40K Chaos?
I wouldn't know. I don't know much about 40K. So I'm assuming this is Warhammer 40K.
Yeah, my passing understanding of Chaos in 40K is that it is pure, unadulterated madness.
It is actually the personification of chaos.
Yeah, there is nothing coherent or logical to address with this. It is something that drives you mad by your very attempts to conceptualize it. The characters have to go under rigorous training to kind of tune it out, because otherwise when you acknowledge it, your brain melts.
Yeah.
Because it is just that wrong.
It's a bit like Cthulhu in that sense.
Yeah, very much Elder God territory. So I think you just have to send Sonic solo, because I think he's chill enough that all of this would be going down around him. He's like, weird. Is he helping or not?
Yeah, he just wouldn't care.
Got some Ultramarine going, how do you withstand the chaos? And he's like, let it do its thing.
Chaos? That's my middle name. I thought it was the. Shut up. There's one from Scribs. After the duo incident in IDW 64, there was probably some uneasiness between Lanolin and Whisper. What did Tangle think about this, and does she manage to help her buddies bury the hatchet?
It's something you'd have to read to find out.
Uh-oh. No spoilers are here.
Well, I don't know if Evan has that immediately planned out, but that is an issue still to be resolved. Mm-hmm. So I don't want to speculate and step on her toes.
Alrighty. Well then, fine. Be that way. Yes, please be that way. All right, let's switch back to some super chats. Hearts13 has a question. James Woods as Mimic the Octopus, Lady Gaga as Princess Sonia Hedgehog, and Christopher Lloyd as Dr. Eggman Nega. What are your thoughts on this fan casting? I think Christopher Lloyd is too good to be Eggman Nega.
Yeah, that's wasted potential there.
Yep.
I'm imagining a James Woods Mimic being undone. Ooh, piece of candy. Ooh, piece of candy. Ooh, piece of candy. Bang! Whisper, that wasn't very sporting. It was effective.
But it worked.
And what was it? Lady Gaga as
Sonia from Underground.
I guess. I mean, she has greater range than what her, primary acting persona puts on. So she might be able to do a solid Sonia. Not as, Lady Gaga, but as just herself.
Yeah. I would pay to see it. I would buy that for $1. All right, here's Gunner with a question. Care to pitch your ideal Sonic RPG with systems? We could probably be here for days if you did that.
Now, by systems, is that like a particular company, or did they mean like the game systems within themselves, like the game mechanics?
Like, I think they meant the mechanics, yeah.
Yeah, okay. God, there's so many ways you could go about this. I would say keep the story fairly light and straightforward. Like, you got 7 Chaos Emeralds, make that the quest. An emerald per region. That's your impetus to go around. You know, one subplot where the bad guys steal the ones that you have gathered and you track them back down just to vary it up a little bit. Nothing too groundbreaking there because you don't need to. Let it be. Let the focus be on the characters and their interactions. Like to take a page out of, because we just mentioned it, Thousand Year Door.
Yeah.
One of the great things about it and Mario RPG is you have a new antagonist that you can play with, the X-Nauts or the Smithy Gang. Do that again. Bring in some new villainous force so that Eggman doesn't necessarily have to be a party member, but is a counterpoint to the new big bad. That and it makes them expendable, so you can kind of go whole hog on them. And for battle system, I will die on the hill. I want a Tales of battle system for a Sonic RPG.
Heck yes.
Like something with somewhere within the Symphonia to Vesperia range of play. I feel like I Grace has never clicked with me, and I feel like Arise is just mind numbing. And as much as I love Zestiria and Berseria, they're not great to play. So, but I feel like some Abyss for me is the magic middle ground, but maybe I'm in the minority there. But something like Tales of Symphonia, Tales of Abyss, Tales of Vesperia, and if you've never played a Tales of game, very, very basic version of this, it's basically Smash Brothers controls.
Mm-hmm.
You know, you've got your standard attacks, your special attacks mapped up, down, left, right. It gets way more involved than that, and you can do more with it, but it's an active battle system that's easy to pick up, easy to understand, easy to build combos off of. And if you're, if this is being picked up by the younger audience, which is what Sonic is primarily built for, they'll be able to get through it by mashing A and B. They don't have to think too hard. Those of us who really like to get into the weeds, you could build something way more technical. And that's where you get all the really flashy combos and trade-offs and juggling things in the air and really do neat things with it. So to me, I feel like that's the best of both worlds. It's the best way to have an active RPG system that fits Sonic because he is such a mobile and active character. And again, keep the basic plot simple and then have the individual regions highlight the character interactions and whatever region du jour their issue is. And let that be the primary driving force. You're enjoying the ride, not necessarily, being driven by the destination.
Mm-hmm. All right, here's a question from Rouge Reborn. Or Rogue Reborn, I'm sorry. What got you into writing and being an author? Were you inspired by a comic book?
I've always been a storyteller. I tell this story a lot, but we were cleaning out my closet back in my childhood home years back, and there was this poster that had just all these wild scribbles on the back from when I was like 3. And I have no idea what it meant now, but I do remember that this was a story, that I was mapping something out, that this was like the map or it was like a literal plot line or something, but I was telling a story with these markers. So it's just something I do. And over the years, it's gotten to be more focused to, I want to actually tell stories. I want to tell stories in this format. I want to tell stories with these franchises, the characters are going this direction. And how do I do that? What are the skills needed? What is the format of the project itself? How do you put one together and put it out there? Going from, I like stories to this is how you do this professionally.
Mm-hmm. All right. Here's one from Turbo K. Alt ending to Superstars, where Fang comes back to his gang with their newest member, Trip the Sungazer. How does it go, and how do Bean and Bark react?
Oh, Bean just loves a little squishamoodles. Is there anything inside of that helmet? Knock, knock, knock. Oh, it resonates.
Oh, no.
And then Bark just kind of puts a hand on his face and gently shoves him away and offers Trip a hand up back to her feet. And then he just kind of hovers as the protective big brother from the rest of the day.
There you go. Here's one from Shallon Sonic Fan. It's a normal day over at Bumble HQ when all of a sudden the studio is swarmed with robots and Eggman declares the show to be all about him. How long can you two keep him distracted until the heroes show up to your rescue?
Oh, we'll be fine.
Oh, yeah.
Just sit him down and ask him about himself.
Keep him talking for hours.
Yeah.
Days
So,
even.
Dr. Eggman. Do you prefer Dr. Eggman? Okay. A lot of people say that you're a super genius, but they don't really understand what that means. Can you explain it to them? And then he goes off for an hour and a half.
Yes.
Fascinating. But I'm afraid that might have been too high level for some of our listeners. Can you bring it down to like their level? And he's like, he doesn't want to. It's like, oh, okay. Well, I just thought someone of your genius would be able to tackle a question like that. And then he goes back down and he explains everything. So that's another hour and a half.
Uh-huh.
Well, now that we understand like the genius behind your genius, let's ask about Eggman Land, that main driving force for so many of your conquests. What does the ideal Eggman Land look like to you? And if the other heroes have not found us by this point, they're asleep. Okay, we have bought all the time we need.
Yeah, it's true. It's like, come on, guys, what's taking so long? We can keep Eggman occupied though. Easy. The Hobgoblin has a question. How would IDW's Fang feel if he found out his Archie counterpart did things as dark as poison his own friends to death or try to murder a pop idol?
I'm not sure, to be honest, since we've just kind of gotten Fang back. We're seeing what his full range is.
Would he be
I
like,
don't know if it'd
man,
be
I got to step up my game.
Yeah, I don't know if it'd be a matter of he would find it inspirational or if he would find it unsettling. And given that we've seen Ruthless Knack already, it might be nice and keeping more into like the classic tone for him to not go that far. Like, he's a bully, sure, but he just steals stuff. What is this murder thing? Jeez.
It's excessive. And we got a question from Twilord. Sega reached out to Nintendo for help with the Knack/Fang problem. What 4 Pokemon moves does Fact the Sneasel know?
Careful. You're just one vowel away from getting us in trouble.
With who?
Anyway,
Yes.
Fang's Pokemon moves.
Uh-huh.
Dadgummit, it's been a long time since I've Pokemoned.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see. The one where you steal the other critter's held item. Is that called Snatch or is that knockoff? Okay. Bite. That big old snaggletooth, you gotta even bite. Substitute. Bean, you go get him for a minute. And Pursuit. Fang the Hunter. There you go.
He's just a Rattata, isn't he? I mean,
he's Fang the Rattata. What a horrible phrase.
I mean, have you seen Rattata?
Oh, I know Rattata.
Okay, good.
God, they're almost the same color too.
I
aren't they?
know. All right, here's one for Archetype Omega ZX. Game Sonic versus Goku Sun. All out, all plus best forms, all plus power ups, rule of cools, plus outside the norm stuff included. Emerald stuff. Make a plot if you want.
Make a plot? Okay.
What kind of plot? Like a grave?
No, if you want a plot line for this, it's the god of the cosmos who just wants to have some fun. And as the fight escalates, keeps throwing in power-ups like it's a crazy Smash Brothers stage with items spawning until it just escalates to the point where it's ridiculous and we're teetering on reality crumbling, in which case Goku and Sonic both kind of quit and say, good match, and leave it at that.
Well, there you go. Damnable's BP Parda has a question. A collab I always wanted to see is Telltale and Sonic to make a chaotic point-and-click adventure game. If you got to write for it, what kind of adventure would you put them on, and what villain would you have them face?
Oh my god, that'd be great.
That would be fantastic. Holy crap. I want it.
There was a story that I always had in my back pocket that I never figured out quite how to work. I don't know if it'll ever see the light of day. But the main premise is that Cream comes to them because her mother's gone missing. And they go investigating and end up uncovering this plot by Eggman to create the hottest selling toy, which is all like sleeper agent mini badniks. And they foil his plans. They like undo whatever activation signal or malicious code there is so that the toys that are already distributed are now fine. Charmy gets one for Christmas because otherwise they didn't get one. They didn't have anything for him because they're broke. And then Vanilla was fine. She just got tied up in holiday shopping and lost track of time. And Cream panicked. Everything's fine. She just needed to, stop being a little kid and calm down for a second. So, happily ever after.
Mm-hmm.
Something just like playful and wholesome and not too high stakes. And for an easy pace of a Telltale game, that would work out pretty well, I think.
Yeah. Be more along the lines of Strong Bad's cool game for attractive people.
Yeah, something like that. Only a little less surreal.
Maybe. Have some crossovers with other Telltale characters. Sam and Max. Throw them in there. Gotta have detective meet detective.
Now, Sam and Max and Chaotix crossover is a whole other kettle of fish.
That's a whole game, I suppose, huh? Yeah. All right, we got one from John L. Oh, this one's for me. Kyle, happy 20th anniversary to City of Heroes. What archetype, power sets, and 2 primary colors should the commemorative alt I make have? Well, I got one for you. You gotta go with, so back in the day, on the City of Heroes official forums, someone made a thread about their strong and pretty War Mace Energy Aura Brute. So I'm gonna say make a War Mace Energy Aura Brute as a reference to the strong and pretty. Be strong, be pretty. And to make them pretty, of course, they've got to be hot pink and lime green. So, there you go. Strong and pretty. Emil C. has a question. Could Metal Sonic use both Chaos and Soul Emeralds?
I don't know. We haven't seen any robots use the Soul Emeralds that I can think of.
No.
I don't think. I don't know.
Only one way to find out.
Mm-hmm.
Sonic Mania 2099 has a question. Why is Evan taunting Riders fans? No, seriously, fans have been asking Sega for a new entry with no motion controls, and we get a comic Sonic Riders forced on us.
Forced on you?
You better take what you can get, because I don't know if you're going to get much else.
I don't know if this is being tongue-in-cheek or if this is legit upset. Like, we want Sonic Riders. Okay, here's something Sonic Riders-esque. Oh no, now we have a thing we like.
It might be tongue-in-cheek. I hope so.
I hope so. Just enjoy it. It looks like fun.
It's easier to make a comic than it is to make a game. I mean, I'm not saying that it's easy to make a comic, but
Well, comparatively,
yes. Yes. All right, Happy LGPK has a question. What is your favorite version of Knuckles? Boom, OVA, Archie, Prime, or Paramount Knuckles? I love Boom Knuckles.
They all have their merits in their own way. My personal favorite is Mainline Knuckles.
Yeah.
He has always been the best, like classic to modern.
Mainline
I
Knuckles
love
is the
Knuckles.
best, but of the ones they have listed,
Of the ones they have listed,
I'ma go Boom.
yeah.
It's just so goofy.
I mean, there's nothing wrong with OVA Knuckles. It's just he's kind of a weird middle ground of so many of them. I mean, he's got the hat, but so does
Yeah.
Paramount Knuckles now, I guess. So
Yeah. I mean, Boom and Paramount Knuckles are both pretty great, so I like them all, but Archie Knuckles has way too much baggage.
Archie Knuckles tries very hard and is given a lot of crap to shovel, but he still tries very hard, and that's commendable.
Yeah.
He's a good boy doing the best he can.
Yeah. All right. Hydrix Aquatic has a question. Fang goes out to hunt for the Chaos Emeralds again and somehow manages to catch the attention of a certain jungle badger. How long does it take for Styx to inevitably drive the hunter mad?
Be funny if she just like manages to pester him from the fringe until he becomes the paranoid one. That someone's always watching him. Something's stalking me. Yeah, sure, boss. Sure it is.
Yeah.
Some mysterious ghost badger, whatever.
It would take her about 92 seconds.
Finally, she loses track of him and writes in her journal, Day 37, the hunt for the strange Rattata has gone poorly.
He's a very strange Rattata. All right, Hefty Rumble 66 has a question. Tails' new machine goes awry, and the main Sonic team turns into the real-world animals they're based on. How do they turn back? And how does Tails keep his desire to eat the others at bay? We've definitely done this before, but, oh well.
I mean, do they retain their sapience, or are they fully reduced to animals?
I don't know. This is not clarified.
If they're reduced to just animals, Eggman's going to have to work real quick to bring back the status quo, because he doesn't want the adventure to end there. He wants to beat Sonic on his terms. But he better clue in fast and work fast, because Tails is a mite bit hungry. Them fox cubs can eat a lot, and them hedgehogs don't run that fast.
No, not real hedgehogs, nor do the echidna. Echidnas do not run very fast either. Oh boy. Metamode has a question. If Jewel is the head of the Restoration, the only military force on that unnamed island nation, doesn't that make Jewel the head of state? Has anyone realized this in universe?
The Restoration is not a military organization or one of any authority. It's a volunteer force. It's a community outreach program.
with weapons.
Well, when you're trying to reach out to the community and you're being attacked by murderous robots, you need to do something.
I guess so.
It's not like they're occupying land or claiming administrative governmental duties. It's just like, hey, Eggman broke your bridge. We'll rebuild it for you. He's trying to break it again. We'll stop him.
Yep. Yeah. Guess they're more of a private militia.
It's a security detail. It's not an active military force.
I have to call this out from the chat because it's very funny. It's like calling a homeless shelter the White House. I don't know why that's so funny to me.
I mean, it's like if Loaves and Fishes needed to get security guards. That doesn't mean that they're the new Tropico 3 setting.
Yeah. Alright, here's one from Butter Noodles. During his traveling through universes to Angstrom Levy, Invincible ends up in Sonic's dimension. How would it go in meeting with Sonic?
No, they'd get along just fine. Eggman might be in trouble.
Yeah.
What with Grayson's penchants for pulverizing faces, but maybe he'd get enough of the vibe that this is a less dire world and he doesn't have to, puree someone.
He doesn't have to go that hard. But it would be nice if he did. This time.
I would more be entertained by just watching Eggman roll up in one of his big old mechas and it shatters every time he tries to punch Invincible. Big old wind up with a big spiky fist and he's just floating there and wham! No more arm and he didn't move an inch.
Yeah. Works for me. All right. Next question is from Normal Person. Jon Stewart needs the help of Lanolin on an important mission. How will their team up go, and can Lanolin rock a Green Lantern power ring?
Oh, absolutely. She'd say the oath with pride.
She's down.
Are you kidding?
Yes.
Only problem is I imagine her constructs wouldn't be as robust as some others. They'd be very much function over form. Maybe a little musically inclined.
There you go. All right.
But I think they'd get along just fine.
There you go. People were getting confused and they're thinking Jon Stewart from The Daily Show. No. Green Lantern Jon Stewart, not that Jon Stewart.
It's one of my favorite lines out of the CG animated series from a few years back is, Hal comes back from being away and they're talking about the current Green Lanterns and you got Jon Stewart monitoring Earth. He's like, the fake news guy?
No, not that one. Mr. West Soda has a question. Would the hard-boiled heavies kill people? If so, how many people do you think they have killed if they were in the modern timeline? Maybe as like collateral damage, but I don't know if they would necessarily like outright murder people, would they? Like just go up to people and shoot them or whatever.
As collateral damage, yeah, I don't imagine them making targeted strikes, but I also don't see them necessarily pulling their punches.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, Heavy Gunner seems a trifle trigger happy, and Heavy King just does not care. So I don't think they would make a conscious effort to do so, but I don't think they would avoid it.
Yeah. All right, here's one from General Jimmy's. And this is our last super chat question for now. So let's go ahead and get into it. Who would be a good mentor figure for Tails outside of his franchise? My money would be on Dr. Light or the Star Fox team.
Dr. Light, yes. Star Fox team. I don't know.
You'd get along with Slippy.
Would he though?
I don't know. Well, they'd be making some serious firepower and some
Yeah, but
serious tech stuff.
Slippy also has a bit of unearned ego and goes beyond his reach to the detriment of the team. I think Tails would get impatient with him. And I don't think he would take to Falco's bullying very well.
Well, no.
Maybe Peppy would be a decent enough mentor. Maybe. Maybe.
Maybe.
And Fox himself, I don't think he's really the mentor type, the leader type, sure, but I mean, they've both seen some pretty heavy stuff and they've both cracked under the pressure. So if anything, they'd commiserate.
Yeah. This just makes me want a Sonic and Star Fox crossover.
Well, yeah, there's that. So we'll just go back to the universal great mentor figure and say Uncle Iroh.
There you go. All right, let's switch over to some standard questions and we'll see if we get any more super chats. And if we do, then we will round out with those. But in the meantime, let's get to this one here from Barsic Animated. I remember Fang saying, "Yeah" in Archie. Do Bean and Bark ever comment on him making noises like that?
I don't think he, in the Archie days?
Yeah, Archie.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe Bean would. I mean, maybe Bark did once, and that's why you don't talk anymore.
Oof. All right, Lord Van Oscar has a question. Assume there is found a society of children living in the sewers under the Orwellian rule of a Fagin-esque character. How would each of the three teams from Sonic Heroes react? What, Fagin? F-A-G-I-N.
I would assume Phasian.
Phasian? Orwellian rule.
I get the Orwellian rule reference. I don't know who Phasian is. Or Fagin, or whatever his name is. Point is, children Morlocks. Everybody's getting them out.
Yeah.
I mean,
the bad guy from Oliver Twist, maybe?
Oh, geez. It's been forever since I've gone through that. Anyway. I mean, you'd have the Chaotix and Team Rose focusing on getting the children out first. You would have Team Sonic doing double duty of kicking his butt while getting the kids out. And Team Dark making sure that there is a newly paved road full of fire and lament. And strangely, Mr. Fagin's not there anymore. Well, he is, just a little over there, a little bit over there. Oh, and some up there.
All right, I'm being told that a good example would be Sewer King from Batman the Animated Series. Similar to that,
yeah, okay.
Huh? Yeah.
Same thing.
Yeah, yeah. All right, here's one from Shaolin Sonic fan. Who is scarier, an angry Knuckles or an angry Amy?
Amy.
Yep. Easy. No doubt.
I mean, both are terrifying, but Amy.
Bone Needle has a question. Did cheese get nerfed? It seems like it's been a while since they've killed anything. They cowered in Dream Team.
Well, dreams can be scary.
Dreams are frightening, man. I would assume not. But who knows? My Small Corner has a question. Is Tails' astrophobia something still considered canon and taken into account, or no?
What phobia?
Astrophobia?
What is astrophobia?
I'm going to that real quick. Abnormal fear of thunder and lightning.
I don't think it's a phobia. I think it's just, loud bang, bright flash. It's unsettling.
Mm-hmm.
Now, having a fear of something is not necessarily a phobia. A phobia is like a debilitating fear. Like, absolutely tears you out of the frame. You cannot function because of the terror.
Yeah.
He's just scared of it. He doesn't like it.
Mm-hmm. Zizm TG. I can say words, I swear.
It's almost like you listen to a lawnmower turn on.
Anyway, sorry, we're not making fun of your name. We're just making fun of me being unable to speak.
Exactly.
Based on Silver in 06 and Infinite's backstory, just how life-changing is getting kicked in the head by Shadow. Thank you.
That's what we need. The revelation that Shadow's kick reboots everything. This is what you wanted, isn't it, Maria? Everyone to have a boot to the head.
Roundhouse kick to the face.
I'm the evil Dr. Eggman. Boot to the head. I love everyone now.
Oh no.
Maybe that's what Infinite needs. It just needs to be recalibrated with another kick to the head.
Yeah. Kick him again. Oh. That's how Sonic learned Chaos Control.
The abridged version of Sonic 06. I can't be sad. Kick to the head. I can have any emotion I want.
Oh no. Shadow kick everybody.
I'm afraid of lightning. Kick to the head. I'm afraid of Shadow.
Oh man. Comic the Hedgehog has a question. What is your favorite flower?
I don't have one.
Yeah, I don't know if I really have one specifically either. Can't think of one.
I'm not super big into botany myself. There are neat flowers out there, to be sure. Like, what are they called? African daisies, I think.
Yeah.
Are pretty cool looking, but I don't really go out of my way for plants.
I am. Yeah, not. One that doesn't make you. Yeah, the one I'm not allergic to. All right, here's one from D Guy. Hey Ian, what would happen if the new Diamond Cutters, Tangle, Whisper, and Lanolin, and Jewel ate all of Eggman's evil cookies from Boom? How would they act Eggmanified? Also, who has the best mustache?
Tangle, because she cheats and uses her tail. Whisper's especially hilarious because I just imagine her wearing the mask and the mustache kind of sticking out from either side.
Mm-hmm.
Would Lanolin just be another one of those super puffy curls like from the back of her head just coming out from under her nose? Like she's breathing smoke. And for some reason, Jules is just like a tiny pencil mustache, but she's the most evil out of all four.
Really? Even eviler than Lanolin?
Yes.
Wow.
It's the one you never expect. Evil Lanolin is just like practical. Evil Jewel is organized.
Oh boy. All right, good point.
Welcome to my museum. Welcome to the Hall of Bodies.
The Hall of Doom. Doom. Here's a question from Ghost Cat. If supersonic plus controlled cyber energy plus supersonic equals supersonic 2, could any form be upgraded with cyber energy, like Darkspine plus cyber energy equals question mark?
Maybe. Hard to say because we've only ever seen it once, and I doubt we'll ever see it again.
Mm. Maybe someday.
I mean, it is it's an extra power because supersonic comes from the emeralds,
Correct.
and Starfall supersonic comes from the added cyber energy. So, yeah, I guess by extrapolation, any other form could be supplemented by cyber energy.
Mm-hmm.
I wonder what a Starfall Darkspine would look like.
Ooh. Terrifying. I'm ready. What about let's see, hold on. What's the one? Oh, I just saw it. Cyber Burning Blaze. Oh boy. Oh boy. Chocolate Watermelon 28 has a question. Would you rather bodybuild your body to that of Zavox or take courses to become as smart as Eggman?
Maybe it's my perception colored by my own personal goals right now, but I'm gonna go more Zavok-y. I need to get in shape. I'm smart enough to get by with what I need right now, but the physique needs upgrading. So I do want to maintain my neck. I don't want my chin coming out of my chest. I don't want to go that Zavok-y, but I do like having a defined lower jaw. That's nice. But beyond that, little broader shoulder, broader chested. Get rid of the spare tire. Yeah, we'll go Zavok-y.
All right, here's one from Vortex. Game Sonic versus Shadow versus Silver. They all go all out, use everything they've ever had, skills and power-ups like Chaos Boost, outside external power-ups, and go serious from the start. Who wins?
Well, if we're including everything they've ever touched upon,
Probably
then
Sonic.
Yeah, because as we just covered, you've got the extra layer of Starfall Supersonic, so the cyber energy, but you also have He's Gone Hyper, and the other two haven't. So by that extension, you would have Starfall Hypersonic. I got to give it to him in that case.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, we haven't ever actually seen it, but we could maybe assume Shadow could take off the inhibitor rings while super, so then you would get like Chaos Super Shadow. But still, I feel like that's not going to be enough.
Well. Okay, Vortex meant no external power-ups.
Oh, no external power-ups.
Okay,
just their
outside of external power-ups, I think is what they meant. Okay, so no external power-ups.
Okay, so just their base kit. No inhibitor rings, limiter rings. Sorry.
Use
no
everything
rings
they've
off.
ever had, skills and power-ups, like Chaos Boost, outside of external power-ups. So
Oh, okay.
no,
Okay, so not the emeralds, not the cyber
no emeralds.
power. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. Maybe Shadow without the inhibitor rings. Maybe.
Yeah. Because Silver's power set is already pretty darn broken, given the range and what it can do. But Shadow has the Chaos Snap on hand, and he's got the limiter ring thing that can give him that boost in a pinch. And sadly, 06 kind of shows that Silver can punk Sonic. So in that case, I might give it to Shadow. Not an easy fight, but maybe Shadow.
Yeah, I would say so. Oscar the Bearcat has a question. Since it was Tangle's birthday on Thursday, what's next for the Madagascaran Madeline? I will make that her nickname somehow.
You'll just have to keep reading to find out.
You'll see. FleshBucket48 has a question. It's a chilling tale with shock, suspense, mystery, and horror as a vampire stalks Central City as its feeding ground. Mr. Ian, what's your roster choice that'll best fit this thriller? Like who's the vampire?
I guess.
Shadow? He has an outfit
has
for
a vampire outfit.
it. He has an outfit for it, yeah.
And really, that would be pretty scary given all that we know about his kit.
Terrifying.
I mean, he can teleport around doors. That's without a Chaos Emerald. God, can you imagine trying to run away from him, and instead of just chasing you down on the skates, he just uses Chaos Control. So you're frozen in time, potentially aware that you're stuck there, unable to move as he just closes in and takes his time to drain you of all your life force.
Yeah. And then he kicks you in the head for good measure. Roundhouse kick specifically.
And what is the military going to do to stop him? You know? The guy can punch a tank with his face.
He'll roundhouse kick them all.
Yeah, no.
Nah.
Vampire Shadow is a terrifying thought.
Yeah.
Truly, the only thing that can stop him is Werehog Sonic and Frankenbig.
Frankenbig. Oh no. Oh boy. Just had to say that. Frankenbig. God. And Tails has a question. How would a Sonic handle a high cholesterol diagnosis? Could he handle laying off the chili dogs?
Yeah.
You just have to burn
like it.
You just have to burn off more calories.
Yeah, it's like, oh no, Sonic, you have to go for an extra long run this week.
Yeah, I think he'll be fine.
Yeah.
Charming Magician is here with a question. What will the anti/Mobius version of Sonia Manic and Queen Alina be like?
Auntie Alina gave up her children because she didn't want them.
Yeah.
The prophet was like, you need your children by your side. And she's like, nah.
Don't need them. Don't want them.
And Sonia wound up with the Den of Thieves. And so she's the street smart one. And Manic wound up with the Posh family. So he's the stuck up one.
Triplets born. No one cares. Mitchell H is here with a question. I know you said you would never use Sonic Chronicles Echidnas ever again, but if you could use Shade, how would you implement her into the games and comics?
I'd like to add her to Knuckles' extended cast so he's someone to talk to. Be interesting to explore her specifically away from her people and the evil that they do, and trying to find a new place for herself in this comparatively low-tech world. But at least they have gravity and, you know, a sky. That's nice. Day and night cycle. How novel. Finding her place amongst the greater roster and, you know, not quite trusting how welcoming so many of them are. How can you just trust and work with her? Sure, they work together to fight Ix, but you know, she was still an enemy. She challenged them. You're really giving me a second chance to just live my own life. Okay. Wasn't prepared for that. What do I do now? What is that other life? And, you know, maybe she decides to tag team with Knuckles and she watches the Emerald for a bit and he gets to do something else.
Well, there you go. Asta K has a question. You said before that Shadow doesn't have empathy. However, he's angry when he sees the Chaos Trap in IDW, and he said he's raising a Dark Chow and would protect it with his life.
Is raising the Dark Chow thing in official media?
I don't know.
The whole raising, I don't think, because I know previous efforts to acknowledge the Dark Chow have been met with resistance. So maybe saying he doesn't have empathy is not accurate. It's now I also don't know what I was answering a question to, and I would say there's a 50-50 chance I was being sarcastic. Was that a joke answer or was I, being legit? Because if it was a joke answer, it was a joke answer. If I was being legit, yeah, that's not exactly on point. It's that we're just going to leave it at that. Because if I start to go down this path, I'm only going to tick somebody off. This is going
Yeah.
to be a very long year of shadow.
Yeah.
I don't think I can give an answer people are going to like. So why give one at all?
All right. Also, by the way, guys, as you probably guessed, all questions are closed. So if you do send any more super chats in, they're going to have to answered in a future episode. So, but also we are coming up toward the end here, Ian.
Yep.
So we want to just go for a couple more questions and then call it.
Yep. Let's see what we can do.
Alrighty. We got this one from Izanami. Shadow met a lot of friends and rivals, starting by Maria, but as time goes on, the blessing of immortality makes him see all of them die. How will Shadow react when this happens?
Imagine he'd be hard to read. Like, if he has any inner turmoil, any angst, any regrets, he's not going to express them. He's just going to keep them to himself.
Probably. And we'll call it with this one. This one's from Shadow the Destroyer. Hey guys, how's your day been going?
Doing all right. Wish I'd been a little more productive today, but it was kind of nice and rainy out, and I do love that weather. So, that was pretty good. And since it's a BumbleKast Live, we got to spend our evening with you, and that's the best thing of all.
Yeah, how wholesome. How sweet. Yeah, we're doing pretty good. I mean, we had a pretty good show here, right? I think.
Yep. Yeah.
Good.
Nice positive note to end on.
Perfect. All right, Ian. We got anything else we want to get to before we go?
I don't think so. Just go ahead and give another shout out to Jennifer R. and Professor Wright for managing all the questions. Shout out to Kazi for helping us on the social media front, and JR Unbound for managing all the timestamps and stuff down the line. I know I forget these sometimes. It's not because I don't care. It's because I'm dumb.
Sometimes we just forget because we're slow. And
otherwise, we have so many BumbleKast episodes coming out in the near future. Just keep checking us out Monday, Wednesday, Friday. We might even do more if we get too much of a backlog and get through it all. And thank you again for listening and for your questions and your support, whether it's just listening to the show or with the super chats or sharing the link or whatever. It's appreciated. It's kind of crazy that we get to do this as part of our jobs. So thank you very much.
Yes, absolutely. Thank you for all your questions and your support and everything. So you'll hear this one again on Monday, and then we'll have some more new episodes throughout the week. So don't miss out.
Yep. So be good to yourselves. Be good to each other. We will see you in May with the next BumbleKast.
See you guys.